Hello and welcome back. As you can see, we're back on the carpet again today, and we've got these really beautiful Hornby Dublo 3-rail items. I've mentioned to a number of you in the comments over the past year or so that I do have a small collection of Hornby Dublo. This is just a handful of those items. I think they are really just such beautiful things, and I think that's just exactly how we should view them today. Just really beautiful items. And here we have the locomotive in its box, an N2 Tank Locomotive, made by Hornby Dublo. Not sure of the exact date. We've got a lovely box here. It's got some damage, a lot of information printed on the end here, and if you look very, very carefully there seems to be a price in pencil, or maybe it was pen and the ink has faded, but it's very difficult to read that. So the box is fairly tidy. You can hear the model moving around inside, and on the back there you can see the effects of tape. And we've got a rubber stamp number there. I'm not entirely sure if that's significant. Let's just turn the box over, and there is a lovely label on the box here. And if we have a look at that, it says Clyde Model Dockyard Limited, Argyle Arcade, Glasgow. I've had a look them up on the internet. They're quite a substantial model shop in their day, but sadly gone now. So we'll just lift off the lid and have a swift look inside the box. As I say, there is a little damage on the corner of that box. There is the locomotive. Looks to be in a fairly nice condition. I'm not sure whether there's some internal packaging missing in here. I don't know whether there should be a card insert that this sits in or not, but there are two packing rings either end. Look at that. I think this is just a beautiful thing. And there I have the model out of the box. We'll just have a quick look over. The N2 Tank Locomotive has a long history in the Hornby Dublo range. I think the first models were available in the late 30s. A break in production happened during the Second World War, when production was restarted. After the war, it continued in a variety of liveries and slight modifications, right through the 40s, late 40s, into the 50s. And then in the 60s, and Triang Railways took over the Hornby Dublo Meccano business. It briefly entered the range of those models, disposed of by the then Triang Hornby. It made its way into the slightly later Triang Wren range, and then into the Wren Railways range of the 70s. I've sort of lost track, to be honest, of what its history was after that, but it's quite a long-running model with many variations. And if you're able to look at Michael Foster's book of Hornby Dublo's history, there's a terrific double-page spread of the number of variations, or a selection of variations available. But as you can see, this one's in fairly tidy condition. As I say, I'm not exactly sure of its age. It does have a slightly different coupling on the front to the rear. This one appears to be the slightly later type with the slight extension on it, and if we look at the front one, it's a slightly earlier one with the shorter plate here. So I suspect that it had a coupling change at some point, but I would imagine it's the front one that's probably changed rather than the rear one. You can see not too much wear on the skate, but as with many of these Hornby Dublo models, they can be taken apart and repaired and parts interchanged, so it's very difficult to know for sure exactly what age or where the model has derived from. It's a fairly heavy thing. It's got that lovely armature mounted upright in the chassis there. It really is quite a weight. Let's just have a look over it. That lovely gear there with the securing screw in it. Axle moves really smoothly on there. Lovely spoked wheels right the way down there. Got this little detail in here, this riveted detail on the chassis and the brake blocks. It really is quite a lovely thing. Let's have a closer look at the armature there. You can see that drive on the bottom of that worm. Quite difficult to see there behind the rods. And we've got the brushes on either side. We've got the pole pieces. Let's have a look around the other side. Fairly impressive thing. As I say, it's meant to be maintained and engineered to last, is what I would say. Looking at it, it really is quite something. Actually, let's just have a look at that coupling. We were saying that they had different couplings, and now I've removed the front one. It comes away when you remove the chassis. And look at the two slightly different designs, this one being the earlier of the two, I think. And as this one's part of the rear truck, I suspect this one, if it was damaged, has just been replaced by one to hand, which is a slightly earlier design. It has that slight spring in it there to help it return, although it doesn't quite do it in my fingers here. Let's just pop this lot down. We'll have a swift look at the body moulding. So a cast item. It's fairly heavy. You can see it's fairly clean and tidy on the inside, and we've got a model number on it there. Look, type EDL17. Let's just have a look at it. It's fairly crude the closer you look, isn't it? You can see how it's been cast when it's removed from the moulding. Lovely thing though, absolutely beautiful. I don't know whether the buffer heads are separately fitted, whether they are separately machined items and put in. They look as though they may well be. They've definitely been painted up in the past. I don't know whether that's the original colour or not. Lovely Hornby made in England Meccano Limited transfer on the back of the coal bunker there. Look at that seam running through the mould there as well. Really is beautiful. Lovely separately fitted handrails there, and safety valves at the top there. I think they're part of the moulding, but just painted up. Let's have a slightly closer look at those. See if we can get some focus on that for you. Really is stunning, isn't it? See if we can get that in focus on the front there. Not bad for casting out of metal, I don't think. And here is the small group of wagons we've got on the oval of track today. I think out of the four of them, this is probably the later one, as it has those slightly later type of coupling there. The rest all have that slightly smaller end part on the coupling. So I think that all the wagons are probably between the early to mid-late 50s. I think the super detailed type wagons moulded in plastic started coming along in 1958. So these Tinplate ones probably precede those, although I imagine there's some overlap in production. Beautifully put together with these tabs folded over through slots. And lovely printing on the Tinplate. Really beautiful detail. And these cast underframes. Fairly substantial looking wheels, aren't they? And they spin quite nice and smoothly, and of course you can just oil them with fairly crude, heavy type of oil, dare I say it. But they do run very, very nicely and give a lovely noise on the track, as we've heard. That coupling has a slight bend in it. You can see the shine in the light. But I suppose with the coupling too quickly or rough handling, things do get bent from time to time And it always did seem a shame that these pins or things that hold the couplings on are riveted into the bases, making them quite difficult to change. Although later they did go to a plastic type of coupling, which I believe was much easier to change if needed. And this is probably the one in the poorest condition, this goods van here. 12-ton LMS goods van. See, it's taken a lot of hammer. When I got it, it was held together with hot glue and sellotape, holding the roof on. In a really poor condition. You can see the bending there. If you have a quick glance at the insert pictures there, you can see the sort of thing it was, and I've sort of encouraged it back into shape as best as we can. So they're quite pretty things, and there's many years of play left in these, I think. Even in this condition, they just look so pretty running around on the track. And this is probably one of the prettier ones. Royal Daylight tank wagon. Absolutely lovely thing. Really is quite beautiful. I know I keep saying that, but I mean that just is. Again, those lovely heavy wheels. They roll so smoothly in the bearings as well. Absolutely lovely. And then we've got the brake van. Again, tin plate. You can see a little bit of scratching and so on in it. Lovely printing there, isn't it? 20-ton. You've got the walkways and that lovely glazing just printed in there rather than cutouts. These lovely wire handrails there, slight bend in the old roof there. You can see it has taken some knocks over the years. But as I say, there's several more years enjoyment in these models, I think. Definitely outlast me, I think. Again, those lovely wheels. A little bit of tarnishing on those axles there. Absolutely lovely things. And I think this is a really beautiful item or accessory to get for your first oval of track. Just have a swift look at the box. Hornby Dublo D1 level crossing, made in England by Meccano Limited. I think these came along in the early 50s, and this one is cast in metal. I believe that they were available later on in plastic. I think they were probably made for their two-rail system as well, I think, but not 100% on that. So a fairly pretty box. Let's just lift off the lid and have a look at the item inside. So lovely card box. Not much going on the inside. As I say, I think there probably should have been an extra piece of packaging in here to stop these gates moving around. Let's see if we can just ease it out of the box there. Fairly heavy old thing. And I say it is cast in some type of alloy. The gates do open and they slot into position there. Isn't that quite nice? Lovely painted type finish on them. Not entirely sure how much playing that would take. They could be quite fragile, especially if you tripped over this on the floor. But then again, those Triang models are very, very fragile as well. But I suppose this might take a little bit more tripping over than a Triang level crossing. So it really is quite a beautiful thing with this grass work painted in there, isn't it? Let's just have a look on the underside here. Here we go, we've got Hornby Dublo, made in England, Meccano Limited. You can see this riveting here, holding the posts into place. I think this plate here is a separate part here, and the two approaches are then in turn riveted onto that. So I think this is probably, these are cast, and this is perhaps a plate of some sort, plate of steel perhaps. So fairly interesting. So the track work would just pass straight through this section here, and they produced a special piece of track with a roadway in it. So we just pop this in here. So yeah, you've got those boards in the center here where you would drive over to make it a level or a levelish surface. We've all driven across level crossings. They're never terribly level, are they? They're always slightly bumpy. Let's have a look at that. But it is quite a nice feature, isn't it? So that was just a standard small straight. And they just, with the addition of these two boards in the middle, quite a nice thing. I imagine it was probably sold separately. But the track works fairly interesting too. And this seems to be a tinplate section. It's a fairly complex affair. Again, these tongues are available in different sizes. Again, these smaller ones are perhaps an earlier edition. I think there are quite a few different variations on track, so I won't really go into that. But fairly beautiful thing. And I think every section has made in England by Meccano Limited on it, Hornby Dublo. They really are. It really is, sorry. Quite a pretty system of track. And off we go again. I think just a few more times around the track here. Just listen to this lovely sound. It really is quite terrific, isn't it? All that metalwork, that skate running over that centre rail, and all of those lovely metal wheels on that metal track, and that echo from the tinplate base. It really is quite beautiful. Now, I hope you've enjoyed seeing these items today. I do have a handful of Hornby Dublo items, as I said, which we may have a look at in a future video perhaps. But I think that's it for today. Thanks again for watching, it's hugely appreciated. And if you look back again next time, we'll have something else interesting to look at. Goodbye now.